I need a favor from you, Agent Jones. I need you to find Red and take me there. He needs to know what is about to happen. He needs to know he needs to be involved. He needs to know Camilla and I can't do this on our own. Yes, sir. Give me a few hours, please, said Agent Jones. They returned to the hangar where his plane waited. He looked over where Camilla's plane was, but it was gone. She was gone. He returned to his chair while Agent Jones went over to the pilots to tell them their travel plans. Within an hour, Agent Jones returned to the back of the plane. Found him. Impressive. That was actually pretty fast. The U.S. government knows how to find anyone, anywhere. I have my connections. Go get comfortable. We have a long haul ahead of us. 20 hours or so. Camilla was right. We're heading to Fiji. Thomas spent the flight racking his brain on what to say and how to handle the situation. Agent Jones gave him pretty good advice. Focus on why you're there. Saving the Earth. He won't be able to travel and do the things he's doing without it. He may push back. He may act tough. Ignore those things. Focus on why you're there. Thomas was in awe of the turquoise blue water as he stared out the window during their descent into the small island. He had seen some pretty beaches during his time in South America, but nothing compared to what he was witnessing as they touched down. Looks like he's still here, said Thomas as they exited the plane and gestured to his right. His plane must be double the size of mine. They made their way to the south side of the island, but this time without police escort. The island was small, with very little traffic. Palm trees and blue sky filled his visions as he looked out the window. Have you ever seen a more tropical place than this? He whispered under his breath. Never in my life, sir, said Agent Jones as he looked back from the front passenger seat. But remember your why. They pulled up to an inclusive resort on the water. They entered the hotel lobby where palm leaves, trickling water, and tranquil music flooded the senses. Go check out the place. I'll get us checked in. Are we staying here? Asked Thomas. I mean, look at this place. Why not? Questioned Agent Jones. He then paused himself. I'm sorry, sir. I was out of line. Whatever you would like. Thomas looked at Agent Jones and smiled. You're right. This place is pretty amazing. Let's stay a little. The hotel concierge walked Thomas and Agent Jones around the property, showing them all the amenities the hotel had to offer. She escorted them onto a golf cart where they drove down to the water. These are our most exclusive villas on the property. Some of the most important and wealthy people of the world have stayed here. Right now, we have one other guest who's joining us, she said. They pulled up to an immaculate building on top of the water. A small walkway led them from the beach out onto the water. Thomas looked down under his feet as tropical fish swam freely in the clear blue water. This is where you will be staying. This is Miss Lydia. She is the manager of the villa. She is here to make sure your stay is as comfortable as possible. Whatever you may need, please, just ask. The hotel concierge left the room. Miss Lydia politely introduced herself and did the same. Thomas and Agent Jones walked out onto the deck that was overlooking the water. Never in my life, stated Agent Jones. He shook his head and glanced over at the other villa. Looks like our friend isn't here. We will wait until he does, said Thomas. The two of them enjoyed lounging in the infinity pool, jumping in the warm blue ocean, eating a fresh, natural lunch, all the while feeling the gentle ocean breeze surround their bodies. This is heaven, Agent Jones. As the sun set and the two of them were lounging in the living room of the villa, something caught the eye of Agent Jones. He walked out onto the deck as the stars of the night began to fill the sky. Looks like our friend is back. Thomas jumped up from his seat and watched as a giant yacht docked on the deck of the villa next door. A small group of people exited the yacht and made their way inside. Should we go now? Asked Thomas nervously. Give them a little bit. We will go soon. Thomas began pacing throughout the living room as Agent Jones stood on the deck, watching from afar. After a short time had passed, Agent Jones called Thomas outside. They are eating. Let's go. And by the way, you need to work on your anxiety. This pacing back and forth isn't good. Breathe, sir. The two of them made their way out of the villa and back down the small walkway. They made a left at the connecting path and proceeded to enter into their neighbor's villa. As they walked in, the living room opened up. Waiters and staff were moving about as a small table of guests sat, enjoying a delicious dinner against the night. Within a second of entering, two large men quickly positioned themselves on either side of Thomas and Agent Jones, placing their hands on their shoulders. "Who goes there?" one of the men shouted. This made the entire table and waitstaff stop in their tracks and turn towards the two guests. "We are staying at the villa next door. My friend here says he knows one of you," exclaimed Agent Jones. "We don't know anyone on this island," said a voice from the table. "Per favor, leave this place at once." Thomas stood there in silence, scanning the members of the table, until something caught his eye on a young man sitting at the end, a red bracelet. "Hi, Red," said Thomas. The young man pushed his chair out from the table and slowly stood up. He made his way around the end and stopped in front of Thomas. He looked down at Thomas's wrist and back up to his eyes. "C'est tu?" "It's you," said Red under his breath. "Blue?" "Yes," replied Thomas. "Togli le man di eso da nostri ospiti." "Get your hands off our guest," Red ordered his guards. "Quest'uomo sonete?" "This man is me." The guards took their hands off of them and quickly backed away. "Per favor, join us for dinner," as Red directed the staff to gather another table and chairs. "Thank you, Red, but we already ate," lied Thomas. "Can I speak to you in private?" "Si, of course." Thomas and Red left the others in the villa and walked out onto the deck alone. They stopped up against the railing and looked towards one another. "I have only seen you in our dreams with them, our gods, and now you are here, mio fratello, my brother. Why didn't you come to Switzerland? You know something's going to happen again, right? They told you as well. Last year was just the beginning." "Mio fratello, how do you want to spend your life? Worrying about what is to come or living now?" "I choose to live now. If we don't do something, all of this will be gone, and you will have nothing. Earth will be nothing. Mio fratello, we have the power to save our planet. We are the rulers of this world. Nothing can stop us. With us together." Red reached down to Thomas's hand and lifted it up in front of their faces, glowing in the firelight. "This is bigger than before. Last time it was just one. Now there are many. We need to organize. We need to plan. That's why Orange and..." "Orange? You were with Orange?" Red jumped in. "Yes, of course. She said she tried to get a hold of you to come to Switzerland, but you didn't want to." "She told me she was going to Switzerland, but she didn't tell me why. Why would I leave this place? This is paradise. Plus, Orange and I spent time together a while ago. She plays games, mio fratello. I have met plenty of girls in my life. She is not someone you want to be around." The events of the last few days with Camilla went rushing through his head. Was all of that some joke? He asked himself. "I see you are thinking of her now. Quick question for you, mio fratello. Has she texted you, called you since you left?" he asked Thomas. "No," he quickly responded. "See? Games. Now please, come sit with us. Let's enjoy this night, this life," said Red as he slapped Thomas on the shoulder and started walking to the table. "Please, more table and chairs for our guests," he shouted. Agent Jones noticed Thomas walking into the room. "Sir, we need to go. I just got a call from your dad. It's about your mom." He walked across the room towards Agent Jones. He looked back over at Red and his guest. "Thank you all for your time and your invitation, but I have to go." "Intenso, mio fratello. Understood, my brother. Per favor, come by again." "We aren't going anywhere," said Red with his arms spread open. They left the villa and walked back towards their own. "Is everything all right with Mom?" asked Thomas nervously. "I don't know. I didn't call. I wanted to get out of that place, and I saw you did too. So I lied," laughed Agent Jones. The next morning, they sat around the breakfast table, looking out onto the ocean. Agent Jones leaned back in his chair and placed his coffee cup onto the table. So, sir, what do we do now? I don't know, he replied. Well, it looks like your brother is about to go back out to sea. They are walking to their yacht now. Thomas looked over his shoulder and back to the table. I'll be right back. He got up and walked back over to Red's villa, towards the dock, and onto the yacht. He walked around until he saw Red relaxing on the couch in the bow of the boat. Benvenuto, mio fratello. What a beautiful morning it is. Listen, I don't know you and you don't know me, but we are together, fratellos. Can I ask you a favor? Red nodded. When I need you, when we need you, you come, period. I will only interrupt your life in all of this if it is important. Intenso? Red quietly pushed himself up from the couch and walked over to Thomas. Intenso, mio fratello. Me dispaci. You are right. Like I said last night, what happened last year was just the beginning. We had to fight one. Now there are many, and they are coming soon. When time comes and I need you, you come. Or this, all of this, is gone. Lo Cesario, I'll be there, said Red, as his tone and demeanor changed. One final thing before I go. We have been working on something that might help. I will send it to you. This thing is a matter of life and death. Please hold on to it. Red smiled, walked back over to the couch, and sat back down. He looked back over to Thomas. I know, mio fratello. Orange texted me last night.